What 3 things are important to consider when you're preparing for the birth of your baby? Hi, I'm Vicki Hobbs from Back to Basics Birthing, and today's video I want to share 3 really important things that you need to consider when you're preparing for the birth of your baby. So number 1, independent childbirth education. And I feel this is really important because it means that you're going to get the latest evidence-based information to help you understand what to expect and to expect the unexpected, rather than being conditioned to be a good patient, if you go to the hospital antenatal classes. So I think it's really important that couples are given tools and techniques to help them manage pain, to get into a really good mindset, have tools and techniques that will help you to get relaxed, to feel confident, to face, whatever is going to present to you during your labor and birth. But also, most importantly, to have that confidence to ask questions and be an active participant in your birth rather than having, things done to you. So that's my number 1. Number 2 is know your choices. So ask around, in the birthing groups, you can ask questions about what other women did for their births, but also recognizing that this is a really individual decision. So even though there might be lots of different choices, you have to find the one that really works for you and is going to make you feel the most comfortable. So things like deciding whether you want to go to a hospital. With that, you can go to a private hospital or a public hospital. Do you want to have a home birth? Would you rather go to a birthing centre? So a birthing centre is where you can have a home birth without it being in your home. So, it's the setting is about more a relaxed environment so that it feels more like home. Shared care, so going to a GP for your antenatal appointments or seeing a midwife, and then birthing in a hospital. Sometimes you might not know who the obstetrician is going to be. It's whoever's on duty at the time. Looking at a private or independent midwife, and some of those midwives also have birthing rights at certain hospitals as well. So that could be a really good option. So ask questions, look at all the different options that you have, and looking at what the research says. So we know that women who are birthing at home, so this is low risk women who are birthing at home, this is actually a really safe way to birth. Even though we hear a lot of stories and we get a lot of information coming through from the medical side, which claim that home births are not safe. So do your research, ask questions, and then find the option that feels right for you. There's also the community midwifery program. So that's birthing with midwives. Midwives are the experts when it comes to normal physiological birth. So you have to ask yourself, do you really need an obstetrician? Or is a midwife going to be, the best option for you if you're looking to have a more hands-off birth? And then number 3, facing your fears. So really looking at where are your fears? What are your fears? Acknowledging them, working through them, and being prepared for those fears to come up again during your labor and during your birth. So it's about being able to breathe through those fears. And there's no way that you can eliminate those fears 100%. So, when you're preparing for your birth, you need to be able to work out what fears are going to come up for you. Work through them, write them down in a journal, look at ways that you can actually help alleviate the level of fear that you might experience, and recognizing that we all have fears. Fear is a normal part of being a human being. We don't want you to have excessive fears where you're just constantly in this state of fear. We want you to be able to manage that fear, and when you're doing independent childbirth education classes, that means you're going to learn the tools and techniques to help bring you back into a state of calm. So your body is nice and loose and relaxed. Your breathing is just so imperative during this time. So and that again brings me back to number 1, doing that independent childbirth education classes. And knowing and recognizing that birth is unpredictable. So again, fears may crop up, but it is about how are you going to deal with those fears. And you are a really strong woman. You can deal with those fears. So they're my top 3 tips. If you wanted to get some more information or some more resources, you can go to my website, Vicki Hobbs, Back to Basics Birthing.